Annyeonghaseyo. Today we'll be learning an easy dish that will impress your friends and family and trick your kids into eating onions. We'll be learning how to cook bulgogi. So what's bulgogi? Bulgogi is a popular Korean dish that's usually served with rice and banchan. Banchan's like kimchi, pickled radishes, seaweed salad, stuff like that. Also, it's good for fusion food. If you try a bulgogi burrito, trust me, it'll be the best thing you ever tasted. So why should you be interested in learning how to make bulgogi? Well, the most important reason is because it's delicious. It's one of the most popular dishes in Korea, and it's usually the one found in Korean barbecue restaurants. It's sweet and savory, and then there's enough veggies for you to get thirds without anybody judging you. So hi, I'm Vanessa Hall. I'm qualified to show you how to make bulgogi because it is a recipe that was shown to me a long time ago by my Korean immigrant halmoni, or grandmother, Sam, and I've been eating it for about 28 years, so I definitely know when it tastes good. Before we get cooking, here's a list of ingredients that we'll need. Thinly sliced beef, 1 large white or yellow onion, some green onion, garlic, a mix of brown and white sugar, sesame oil, rice vinegar, soy sauce, pepper, optional MSG, and vegetable oil. We will also need a knife, a mixing bowl and whisk, measuring spoon, a container, a cooking utensil, a frying pan, a stovetop, and a dish and some chopsticks to eat with. Now that we have what we need, let's make some bulgogi. This delicious marinade is quite simple. It's a spoonful or 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then you add about 2 tablespoons of mixed sugar, of brown and white sugar. If you don't want to use sugar and you want a more natural sweetness, I suggest Asian pear or even a red apple. My halmoni, she used to put in a healthy amount of MSG. I usually don't have MSG on hand, so I don't use it. You do a dash of pepper, about another tablespoon or so of sesame oil, usually a little bit less just because it's so strong, and then a quick splash of white vinegar and some of your delicious garlic. You never have too much garlic. And then you just simply mix it together. So to prepare your meat, you need to get your large onion, and you need to cut into large but relatively thin pieces because you don't want to overload it with too much big chunks of onion. And then after we're done cutting up this onion for our marinade, you put it into your container and then grab your green onion. Make sure you wash your green onion thoroughly, and you should wash any and all of your ingredients. And then you just cut it up. Usually diagonal is best, but my halmoni would go to different Asian markets around the area and haggle for the price of ingredients in Korean. Now, since I only know how to speak some food names in Korean because, you know, priorities, I have to go to Rayleigh's or Food Max usually to find, my ingredients. So as I don't have the super thin beef like you'll usually see in most Asian markets, I still can find some pretty good cuts that you just basically cut into slices. So now once you're done slicing up all your meat, you just simply add it to the container with the yellow onions and the white onions. And don't be afraid to really mix it up with your hands. All this marinade is going to turn into a really great sauce for your rice. Then we simply cover it, and then we put it in the fridge to marinate for about 4 hours minimum. See? 4 hours in a flash. Now that we've marinated our meat and onions, it's time to turn up the heat. Bulgogi translates to fire meat. in Korean. And like I said before, it's one of the most popular Korean dishes that you'll find in a Korean barbecue restaurant. Usually it's cooked on a tabletop grill, so everyone can portion out how they want to eat and how much. My hominy knew that my big family would eat a lot, so she usually used a frying pan and made big batches, which was totally fine for us because that just means more to eat. And as much as my kids would love to use a tabletop grill, honestly, they can't be trusted with fire. So as soon as everything's cooked thoroughly and your kitchen is smelling absolutely amazing, turn your heat down to all the way low, just to kind of let it simmer in the juices a little bit while you're getting ready to serve up your bulgogi. Bulgogi is usually served with white rice. White rice makes a really beautiful bed of texture along with the sweet and savory bulgogi, and the juices really soak up inside of the rice. It kind of really makes the dish elevated. And banchan is usually things like kimchi. So kimchi is a very important Korean staple. My hominy used to stay up all night, a few times a month, to handmade kimchi. And now I don't really have the time or the patience to homemade kimchi. It's a long process. So store-bought is fine. It's a really good sour, spicy element to add to a lot of Korean dishes, and you can find it in almost any sort of Korean household. While bulgogi and rice is perfect, you can eat bulgogi in many different ways. You can put it in ramen, you can have bulgogi mandu, which is dumplings, or like I said before, you can do fusion recipes like bulgogi quesadillas and bulgogi tacos. No matter what, bulgogi is delicious and is easily a household staple. Here, Louie, you want some? So to recap, we mixed up our marinade and then put our meat in a timeout. Then we channeled our inner Gordon Ramsay and cooked our meat up to perfection. And then finally, we served it up and enjoyed it with some rice and some kimchi, and our hard work paid off. While there's many variations to making bulgogi, this is the way I was taught when I was younger, and then I made it my own. To be able to share a recipe that's so important to my family feels amazing, and I know my hominy would be so happy that I'm able to share a recipe of hers with everybody. So, 감사합니다, or thank you, and until next time.